I propose to anyone thinking of using false EMS to advance their lying ways to hurt and gain. It is a true bad occurrence that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Believe me. Karma has no menu. You get what you desire. Beware. Hi, I am Dominic. I want to obtain a true family reconciliation of past family disputes and settle a family estate. Bullying me, causing me so much stress and depression ever since, and watching my mom die slowly with no meds, causing her passing on February 5th, 2005, a sad day just gone by yesterday. And I am so sad to have to speak the truth about the second worst day of my life after the first worst day of my life on January 31st, 2024. Sharing this moment is why it was the second worst day of my life on my godly visit to Toronto, my first home city, where I was hatched. I am going back to resolve my dispute with my nephew, Mark, who is the son of my best friend. His dad, my brother-in-law Fedele DeFrenza, passed away on May 25th, 2024. Fedele did me a big favor by removing my inventory stored in a locker and putting it in his garage above his storage space while I was living in Vancouver in 2007. Fedele, with help from his neighbor next door, 220 No Name Road, to move all my 10 by 10 storage locker. I have been texting Mark, asking him to respond about the removal of all my stored stuff in the garage. After trying to convince Mark on the phone that I wanted just to have a look and see what stuff of mine was left, and only to remove what belonged to me, he then told me all the stuff was gone, and no, he doesn't want me to confirm if he is lying or telling the truth. Then he told me that he was going to call the non-emergency police line. I told him to go ahead, and that I would be waiting. Never in my mind did I ever think he would go to the extreme to lie and call false EMS 911 to tell them Dominic was having suicidal ideations. Mark was on the phone with Dominic when he became verbally aggressive. Then he mentioned he would hurt himself if someone didn't give him access to the garage. It seemed to be his best choice to stop me from gaining any further access to my stuff, and to lie was better than to allow me to view how disrespecting his uncle, who helped him access my computers while he was growing up. Now, this is how much he seems to hate me, why I do not know, and his father is rolling around in his grave, knowing how much hate has grown in the Petro family. Mark knew I was not going to do any stupid thing like suicide in front of him, as I spoke to him earlier on the phone. He told me he would be calling the non-emergency line for the police, not a false EMS call. I told him I would be waiting. Dominic is requesting to obtain a copy of the body cam worn by officers attending the false reporting by my nephew Mark, who is renovating his new home at 222 No Name Road, of EMS on Saturday, 5 and Sunday, the 6th, to serve his proposal to keep me from obtaining all my personal and business inventory left as storage in my brother-in-law's garage, Fedele. Detective Bennett is an investigative officer. Offers from station number 31 were attended on both days, October 5th and 6th. The problem is that all those who desire to continue to hurt me just did that by lying and backing up my nephew Mark to go, as far as calling a false EMS to indicate I may be thinking of suicide. My sister Mary was there to give me her true thoughts and feelings about how I am the black sheep of the Petro family. Her true expressed feelings felt like she was sticking a knife in my heart and hurt me so much. Now I must go forward to charge Mark, my nephew, who just disrespected me, not allowing me to get back all my memories that are now lost if I do not get them back, and the inventory I left as storage in his garage. Now, I am requesting and must get back all the police occurrence reports going back to 2003 to 2006. Mark did make a big mistake, as now I do have a body cam worn by the police officers attending the suicide call made by him. I am concerned that if my siblings are the true cause of my thoughts of expiring sooner than I would have wanted, then it is a crime to cause suicide, I believe potentially. There is a cost to call in a false alarm on security systems, so there should also be a cost for calling in a false EMS, much more of a cost of $10,000 for 6 officers and 1 ambulance attending just in case.
Mark, Felicia, and Sister Teresa, I feel your pain and suffering. We are beyond belief Fideli disappeared on his day of expiry gone by. It's very difficult for me to give you my feelings at this point, and how I was with your dad, already known how I was so close to him ever since I moved back from Vancouver. Now, just suddenly seeing no longer with us really makes me feel so gone. It's hard to imagine being bullied to the near point of committing suicide. Yes, I know it's negative. It's been negative for me for more than 20 years. But because I'm so negative now, I am feeling the way I do. I hope you understand. As much as I want to be at the funeral, my negativity would only make things worse for everyone else. So it's best I just be invisible, as I have been to all of you for the last 20 years. If you want to find out more about me, who I am and what I am, you'll be able to find out just one click away. I'm going to send you a text message I sent to your dad back in February, asking him to help me with new good project that I wanted to work on with him. I'll give you the address to the site if you want to be able to see it now and forever. Take care. Bye. I love you so much. But I guess you guys don't realize it. It's a sad day. And I can't just be there to make everybody seem like the family's together when really it's still broken up. It's hard. It's horrible. It's the worst time in my life. And now here I am facing this, as well as trying to be happy. When I turned 69 on Saturday, I know I've never had any real birthday. But anyway, family is who I miss. I wish that we were together, not so far apart as we are right now. Bye now. I love you all. Right now I'm listening to very spiritual.
How is our present world changing so drastically as we see it unfolding now on February 8th, 2025? Do you believe that every human being is now able to discover how living on God's planet Earth has been full of life experiences? Good and evil, as we have had our destiny prearranged by God to serve both good and, yes, even evil. As we are not able to live in paradise until we repent our worldly sins in the lying world we have been in since the beginning of Adam and Eve. My life has been full of good life experiences, with many dark lying ways I learned growing up on my dark side. In the previous audio files, I added a female voice reading all my true thoughts and feelings regarding my nephew Mark, who has disrespected me, as explained. Furthermore, my godly tour to my hometown, Toronto, on the same weekend of October 5th to 8th, left me in so much pain both mentally and body-wise. How strange it seems to me that after both days dealing with true good EMS first responders, explaining I was not going to expire in front of my family, no way how big a lie Mark told to 911 call to report. On the Monday of the 7th, I started noticing blood in my urine every time I went to pee. That was it. I went to emergency at the new hospital to spend 9 hours waiting to get one pill to stop my bleeding, so I could fly back to Vancouver at 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Somehow, I was let on the plane with hopes not to cause an in-flight emergency to have to fly back to Toronto. I arrived back in Vancouver and went to bed after not sleeping much for more than 6 days, only to experience the second worst day of my life. Then I had to go to my emergency room at Royal Columbian True Good Hospital. Still, due to construction on the road, I decided to go to St. Joseph's in Vancouver, just like the hospital where I was hatched at St. Joseph's in Toronto on June 4th, 1954. I was amazed that the emergency waiting room was now outside, covered in front of doors to enter, which used to be inside. Time spent there was only 5 hours before getting a new prescription for meds to help me clear blood in my urine. How strange it was while at Elia Junior High School. I attended with my 3 sisters and my brother Sam. I thought we would always be close, but that is not the case today. There are problems of being competitive growing up with our parents always comparing us to all our other cousins, which are many in our Italian Petro family. Now, we are all grown up, and I am viewed as the black sheep of the family. Being 70 now after living with bad health problems with growing kidney stones is living with ticking time bombs dropping at any time to cause so much pain and suffering. God has designed my destiny to be able to help change many to give up the old lying world we all grew up in to agree now to live truthfully daily to help the spirit of the truth sink deep in all our hearts, minds, and souls to be set free. That is what I hope my family will eventually realize. To be true is true, and blue is good for you. Living in a lying world will not only destroy your heart, mind, and soul but follow the evil dark side path to hell. While walking around the school, I met this one guy with 5 dogs with bulldog faces. It was scary. Yet I had to stop him and start chatting with him for about 20 minutes or so, and now next is the audio I recorded. He is a Trump 1 supporter living here in Canada, which made me sad for him. I did express my true thoughts and feelings as he did. Listen to it now, okay?
Today is a very special day. This is Saturday, October 5th. 2024, and here I am here again, where I grew up, and can you believe it? I actually went to junior high school here. It's called Elia Junior High on Sentinel Road in Derrydown in North York. Period. How is it that we do not know at such a young age? Because then when I was attending, I would have only been no more than 8 or 9, something like that. I can't recall exactly. I'm just turned 70th on June 4th, 54. Can't imagine. Here I am on my 70th year back at where I was when I was only 8 or 9. And now what you see is an incredible change in the school. And the way it was, and the way it is now, it's progress. I know it's progress for the good, but there's so much hurt in this province. It scares me. Time is just flying by. Got a guy here walking 4 dogs, all big ones, on the other side of the fence, scaring the hell out of me. Anyway, here he goes.
Like, corruption has always been there. It's always been our greatest disease. But, along with that comes with greed and the desire, the evil desires, obviously.
Okay. I have a formula for that. Lies plus jealousy plus greed equal corruption.
Correct.
You put those 3 together,
Absolutely.
that's it, it's done. There is no 2 ways about it. You look at every country. Everybody's got their bit of corruption.
Yeah.
How much is one more than the other?
But that's because you have to remember, people are not.
We were born with it.
People are not truly willing to help others more than to help themselves.
That's it.
Right?
That's greed.
Right.
It's
So the thing is, no, drop it. No, like, drop it. Come here, stubborn. So yeah, definitely the case. But like, what I'm trying to say is, again, the world is full of major corruption. And the price, like, again, typical conversation, right? The government. Is the government the boss of us, or is the government supposed to be for us?
You know what I'm
The
trying to
government
create?
is inputted by the people,
Yeah.
right? So
If you don't have a vote, you haven't got a choice.
You have this. So Maverick, drop it. So you look at a prime minister, a president. Now the days of kings and queens are far gone. So
Not really. The dark side ones are coming back. You got Donald Trump down there. You know what I call him? He's the mob boss of America.
I don't know.
Don J. Trumpone.
I'm on Trump's side.
What?
I'm on Trump's side.
Oh, then
America wasn't better than when Trump had it.
Okay, forget it. This is okay. You can have your side of being there. But let me explain to you. He was born on a certain day. I was born on a certain day. And together, there's something strange about our past and our destiny, because now my job is, and what I'm trying to do, is to make everybody realize if you want to follow blindly, knowing it's a lie, then you're part of that lie.
Lola, drop it.
So what happens?
Lola.
He becomes what he is now, the biggest cult leader ever known to man. Really, when you think if he could take over 350 million people eventually, not right now, he only has maybe 30, 40, or 50 million that are really fall, maybe 60 million or even more. But you see how dangerous? Everybody has a gun.
Hey,
I would hate to be down south, my God.
yeah, but there's so much.
Allowed to have guns in order to walk around and play
Let me give you
cowboys.
Hold on. Let me give you an example, okay? So you're out having lunch. You're out having lunch by yourself or with someone. Okay, let's say someone you care about. Could have been at the time your parents. Could have been it could be your wife, your kids. Okay, so your instinct is to protect those you love, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, now is the gun really the problem or are people the problem?
Doesn't matter. You don't need war. You don't need war weapons. You don't.
Hold on. That's not what I'm saying. No. You have to understand something, and this is.
We don't have it here in Canada. Why don't we have gun
How
laws?
many shootings and killings there?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it's not legal for us to have a gun. Come on.
But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to tell you is
More guns cause more deaths.
yes, more when you bring certain things into factors, more freedom brings more problems. Okay, more types of freedoms bring no. It's the truth. Why? Because okay, if you're free to walk after 10 o'clock, that means you get more of an urge to probably. Now, I'm not saying everybody. This is obviously certain people, but you get an urge to steal. You get an urge to become more this.
So what are you saying? We should be
that.
more controlled?
I'm not saying be more controlled.
Or what?
What I'm trying to
a
tell
10
you.
o'clock curfew?
What I'm trying to tell you is that when you have more freedom, you'd be naive to think it doesn't come with more problems. Now, for example, if I was out on a walk with my dogs and there was an active shooter in the school, and I had a firearm, and I chose to risk my life to save people. Okay. Now, could you do that without a firearm? Could you really?
No, you're not meant to. We have police forces for that. Police forces do that job. You're not meant to do something like that when you haven't been already trained, knowing how to use a gun, but only in self-defense. But you don't need a gun. If everybody doesn't have a gun, then you can only use whatever quick weapon you can get. You have a better chance at survival. When someone has a gun there and he just pulls it out and boom, boom, you don't have a chance. That's all I'm saying. And hey, you can have whatever beliefs you have, and if they help you and you think you're doing good, keep going. But understand this. The world was never meant to be all in one path.
Yeah, but the world...
And going the best way for everybody.
Okay,
it's divided and broken.
Yeah, of course it's divided.
Oh, it's broken.
That's 110%. I'm never going to disagree that it's not... Again, humans are their worst enemies. Humans are beyond their worst enemies. But
we were never intended to be perfect.
You're talking about... It's not like... You're not wrong. But there are certain things that are...
We have disagreements. Look, if we agreed perfectly on everything, we wouldn't be having a conversation, would we?
Correct, absolutely.
We have to have differences. I agree.
Now remember, though, you can get to the same place through different routes.
Using force isn't the way to go.
I'm not saying you're using... But see, that's where you're...
You don't think Trump's about to start a coup, and right now there's going to be a civil war?
Would you rather have Sleepy Joe and Kamala Harris in president?
Yes.
Who can't speak, don't know what they're saying?
So, come on, forget
it. Don't know what they're doing?
Listen,
you
buddy.
You can see it on live TV.
No, I know. I watch it. I know.
See it.
Hey, you know what I am? A truth news advisor, advocate, and right now, my whole life is to change from where we are and make sure that Trump doesn't get in and we don't end up having a dictatorship south of us, because already We have conservative leader. That guy is a
Dictatorship,
copycat.
being a communist has a pure and good concept. The problem is the people. Guaranteed.
Okay, there's where we differ, you know.
Guaranteed. But if you look, at it, okay, I'll put it into perspective for you. So
Okay.
you look at communism, right? So
Yeah.
you look at Cuba. Again, take Cuba as your perfect example. Everybody makes the same wage or close to. Okay, you don't have a big gap in what's it called, capitalism. Okay, and everyone will take care of your family.
They're all starving.
Correct. Hold on. But why though? Because you take the leader, he taxes the people, he takes the money. But if he was to be a person with the right kind of mindset, it's a good execute it because people are naive, people want power. Same thing with
He stiffed millions and millions, and now through all those casinos he had, he's got all these bankruptcies and everything. And you tell me now he's got convictions. He's a felon. He's a criminal. He shouldn't even be allowed to speak. He should be in jail. Sorry, friend. I'm so happy that I met you. You know why? The world needs a choice. Good or bad. Okay, just leave it at that. Good or bad, you agree, right? If I want to follow the good path, then I think I'll follow what I'm trying to do. True, John.
Again, power to you. Definitely don't disagree with that. I'm just saying,
What I'm trying to do is true good force. CFP, okay, you know all the cops. Do they do us a good deal? You don't think so at all? Well, how many lives have they saved? Come on. There's problems. I never say there's problems.
what is the point? Okay, what is the point of this officer? Again, you're asking me what cops are doing, or do they do good? There are cops
Well,
that do
here
good,
it is.
but there are
Another
cops that do
night.
bad. Everything has a good and
Snowy
evil.
night.
Everything has a light and day, a light and
Going to
night.
be and
I told
Day
you,
and night.
we're
another
going
fire
back to the same
engine
story. We're
making
meant
a
to have
stop
perfect
over our
world.
building.
If we were meant to have a perfect
Not sure what
world,
it
we
could
would not
be,
be
because
talking.
obviously
I
they
understand that, but you also
respond
have
first
to-
My
before
name is
ambulance.
Dominic, anyway.
My
Just
name
so
is
you.
Kevin.
But it's a
What's
normal
that?
occurrence here
Kevin.
in Vancouver.
Kevin, hey,
Or in
I
my
enjoy
building
it,
in
but
Granby.
just
Or
remember,
I live
I'm
in a
only here
seniors
to help.
building, and it feels
I'm
like,
better
I'm
than
just
what we had
hanging in
before.
there,
If I can change the world,
waiting for my
just a little
turn.
bit, right? And
to
then if
come,
you do
because
your
I've
little
seen
bit, if you
over
think you're doing good
200
or whatever you're
people
trying to
I've
do,
known in the
you
last 10,
change it,
12
or
years
maybe
that passed away.
you help make a change
And
in
yet
the way
I've only
you're
known them
thinking.
shortly,
If it's
briefly.
a
I
good
didn't know
way,
them really
and
well.
everybody
But
believes
yet
it,
there's still
there it goes.
people I
It doesn't
see
matter
in
if you
my
want to
life
call it
living there.
communist, you want to call it this or
And
that.
now,
There's
as I get
always the
older,
good and the evil. So
I
you know
feel
where
the
we are right
pain,
now?
I feel the loneliness,
I love it though. It's
and I
great.
feel how the world is coming toward an unrealistic,
Yeah, of course.
amazing
No Star Wars for that.
tragedy happening all over the world with the war in Ukraine,
You allow
the killing and murdering of so many innocent people,
enter in you and
just for the greed of one who's trying to create his own dark side,
you think of
to
yourself.
become the leader of
Be
the dark
truthful. So
side.
you say to somebody,
Well,
may the true
with
good
that
force
threat
be
already,
with you.
with nuclear
Doesn't
war,
that spark right
and
away
with
that you feel
climate
like
change as it
you're
is,
on the good side?
it's
Now,
scary.
would you say, may
We're
the
living in the weirdest of
dark side
times.
be with you?
I never thought I'd
No,
have to go
absolutely
through
not.
You know, there's a
pandemic
difference, but
and as a world,
that's where we have to
possible
go. There's
another
only a
world
good
war,
or evil, like we
which I
both
hope
agree.
never begins.
Listen,
One or the other, you gotta
I
choose.
never,
In the end, I've seen
learned
our
a very
last
long
war.
time ago to never inflict
I have to go. I have to
good
get
or
off
bad
my vehicle.
a mindset
As
onto
it's full of
others. Exactly
snow.
what we're doing is conversation.
Brought my broom
Yeah,
out
yes.
I'm able
just to
learn from
clean
you,
it
you're
all
able
out.
to learn from me.
As you
I
see it
learned
now,
from you.
Now,
You're the
Auntie,
first person
that's
I
how
met
much
that
snow
has
I gotta
common
clear
sense
off.
in what you're talking about,
my
but at the
broom
same time,
before I even
we have a
started
disagreement. So we agree to
Take
disagree.
care.
Because
but
you
common,
believe
but
one
exactly
way.
that, but
Right.
common sense is understanding there's a disagreement, and like I
That's
said,
it.
you can all be heading to the same route, to the same location in a different route.
No.
That's, yeah, absolutely.
Trump is dark side. He's already convinced his millions that if he doesn't get in, we're going to start a war. And we're going to take control.
Okay,
Why?
okay,
Let me explain.
hold on,
Let me
hold on.
explain the reasoning behind it. White supremacy
Okay.
has been the biggest deal ever. The more Latinos, the more of all the others come in and create the over majority. You follow? White supremacy. Where are they going to be left?
But there's
They want to divide half.
a lack of white supremacy.
No, but that's what's
There's a
causing
bigger lack
it.
of white supremacy than
Now you know what's happening? Is a religious dark side is trying to make it seem like Trump is our savior. My God, that's the worst thing anybody could have think. He could be the savior. He's the Antichrist between him and Putin, because you know he's in touch with Putin. And you know that Putin's got him by the balls.
Okay, but
He's got him by the balls. Why?
Put it this way. Okay, look at it this. Trump came into office. Who stopped the war in the Middle East?
He didn't stop no war. He stopped shit. He hasn't done much of anything. All he thinks about is himself. You know how much money he's made? You know what
he flat out says?
he has?
Trump comes back, I'll end the war with Ukraine. But
The
why?
guy starts up.
Look how much proof and evidence there are Biden and known associates filtering money through Ukraine.
Filtering money, they're supporting him.
Laundering money through Ukraine.
Oh, fuck, my. Sorry, I shouldn't have said what I just said there, but
No. Hey, I'm just telling you. There's more than meets the eye.
he will be in jail.
There's more.
But the
than meets
problem
eye.
is, when he's in jail, someone's going to try and bust him out. Who? 40 million people are with guns. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I hope and pray it's not going to happen. Hey, I predicted this 7 years. 7 years ago, I predicted this occurrence, and believe me, I didn't create the current occurrences happening the way they are. What happened since he lost in 2020 and didn't go ahead and believe it was, he lost, he won, all that shit. Anyway, here we are. Still now, he's allowed to come back and try again with what he has, is truthsocial.com. He lies every day, and everybody that believes in him, that it's truthful, and that is the worst. That's the proof of the Antichrist.
But you gotta remember something. No human being is perfect. Hang on. Okay. No human being is perfect, correct?
We were meant to be perfect.
Arrival to Vancouver on my first plane ride and trip out of Ontario was back in March of 1974. I was on holidays from working at the post office. I remember flying over the mountains on this trip. I was so amazed I thought I was in another country. I felt so happy. I only stayed for 1 week, then fly back to get ready to move out to my new home, Vancouver. Wow, it was so exciting getting.
It's not cool. You're taking away money that
I'm gonna ask you
the
something.
rich is taking away money that could be going to the majority of the below
Of
them.
course I don't disagree there, but that's capitalism. That's the system allowed in place for them to fuck around. That's the truth. That's the reality of it. Now, let me ask you this: if you're paying a mortgage and you gotta pay $10,000 in property tax, and there was a way in the system to legally avoid it,
Then you
would
go
you
ahead
take
and do
it?
it. No,
Would you
no,
take it?
never. My friend, I wasn't born to steal. That's